Welcome back to another episode of Kate and Isaiah Living Large. I'm Isaiah.
And I'm Kate.
And on this episode, we're going to talk about lunch prep, work at home versus going into the office. But before we do you have anything you want to plug? Is there anything coming up?
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to take this opportunity to tell people that I have something that I'm really looking forward to. And I think I may have mentioned it before, like when I got the gig, but I'm doing a gig at Punchlines in St. John on February 10th as part of a local showcase. And how I got selected, I don't know because I'm so freaking new to this. I just started in August, but I get to do 5 minutes and it's a local show. And it's a great way to support a local business, local comedians, and me. Um, and I really think that it'd be really awesome if you got tickets to the show. You just go to the Punchlines website, uh, $20, I think they are. And if you've not been to the comedy club before, it's like a legit comedy club right here in St. John.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun. And it would be, I'm trying to fill an audience with people that I know so that they book me for more gigs. You
I
know,
mean, that's how
so
we do, right?
yeah, so, like, if we can fill the room of I'm here for Caitlin Dean, that would be great, and you'd enjoy the rest of the show too. There's some really great comedians on, like Brad Rice, hilarious.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Um, and, some really it's gonna be a good time, and so yeah, that was a long-winded way of saying, "Come see
I'm
my
sick
comedy
of
show."
Joe.
I mean, there's all kinds of great comedy shows
Oh
happening
yeah.
all the time. And some of them I'm on, some of them I'm not. There's so much comedy in St. John right now, like, it's wild.
Yeah, we're a pretty good destination for like up and coming comedians right now. It's just pretty
Yeah.
awesome. Um, I won't be able to go. I will be in Utah, so
Yeah.
yeah, I won't be able to come. I will be away in enjoying some soda pops.
Yeah, I know. You'll be away, not supporting me.
No, that's right. I mean, I'll also be away for Valentine's Day, so this
So
is
you're
like
also not supporting your wife?
no, this will be like the third or fourth Valentine's Day in a row that I've been like away.
In Utah?
Well, not in Utah, just like away for work somewhere. That I've just somehow I always end up traveling around Valentine's Day.
What a great opportunity to send flowers from wherever you are, like, call them,
Sure,
like, what a nice surprise.
sure. But yeah, no. This week, I didn't even bring up the topic we're talking about. This, well, yes, I did. I talked about it earlier. Look at me having a little brain fart, guys. That happens. But let's talk a little bit about lunch prep. So you have been traveling for work, as we've talked about before. You're going to Fredericton for work. So before that, you were working here. You weren't working from home though. You were
Well, I was
working.
working from home 3 days a week and working in the office too.
Okay. So
So the
what did it
reason
look
this
like?
so the reason this topic came up is because have I've always struggled with meal prep. Part of it is because I'm busy, part of it's because I don't like it, if I'm being 100% honest,
Yeah.
because anybody will tell you, like, "You find time to do the things that are important." I'm like, "Yeah, I get it, but, like, it's not as important to me as other things." And I've been a constant go out to luncher for a long time, and I enjoy, especially when I have friends to go with, which I had consistently at BNI. I love going out for lunch. Like, it's a
Yeah.
nice, like, break for the day and, like, you have a chat, whatever.
Get out of the office.
But from pandemic times, I got used to working from home and just not having to worry about it, just, like, grabbing whatever. So sometimes it would be like, I'll have a piece of toast for lunch and that'll do just fine. Other times I'd like, "Oh, I'll make something." When I had groceries, like, my best, like, food prep time was during the pandemic lockdown because I had nothing else to do, so, like, I actually had groceries, and I made food all the time because I didn't have to go do other things, and it was actually really good that way, but I was bored to tears and lonely and all of those other terrible things, and plus there's pandemic.
Mhm.
But for food prep, it was a great time for me. But now I kinda got into a cycle where the days I went to the office, I'd go out for lunch, but the days I was home, I wouldn't leave my house, so I'd find whatever I had here, and that was working pretty well. But since I've been commuting to Fredericton, it's been like, not only do I not food prep, but I also just I don't even really go out for lunch. I just buy from the little store that's in the building that I'm in.
Okay, like a little cafeteria store.
Yeah, but it's like, and it's got some like he brings in a fair amount of different stuff, but like a lot of times it's pizza
Yeah.
or like a sandwich or samosas or something like that. But I'm getting kind of sick of it because I eat the same things every day, and they're not always the best choices. And I have gone out a little bit, but I hate going out to eat alone,
Right.
and I also don't like wasting that kind of time. And so I really should get in the habit of bringing a lunch, but when you leave for work at 6:45 and you don't get home till after 6 at night, and I have activities in the evening, making a lunch doesn't seem to fit in anywhere. How do you make it work? I know you work from
Uh,
home. What do you do?
I mean, so we've kind of talked on this before, and like when I worked when I first came to work at home, right around the pandemic, that was when Skip the Dishes kind of hit real quick here, and I that was a huge part of my weight gain through the pandemic was I just skipped every day. Like McDonald's, what else? I did Burger King, A&W. I did a lot of A&W.
Right.
So I mean that was a huge problem. Um, now I have been working home for a while and trying to lose weight. For lunches, meal prep is easy. I just do chicken and rice most times. And shout out to my sister and her boyfriend. They got me a rice cooker for
Nice.
yeah, they got me a rice cooker for Christmas. So I've been trying to finagle with that thing. So now I can just make sure my chicken's all cooked up and then I just throw the rice in like 5 minutes or 20 minutes before I'm ready to eat, and it's good to go, which is awesome. It's got like a little tray that like steams the vegetables too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So now I'm gonna start doing that a little bit more, which is gonna be awesome, and just have to do the chicken. Um, the big thing for prepping with chicken, I find, because I'm having the same thing every day for lunch, chicken and rice every
Yeah,
day
how do
for
you do
lunch.
that? Like, I
Um,
can't do that.
I think the thing is that it's flavors. Is mixing up the flavors. Like that's the kind of the key thing I find is just not just having a lot of soy sauce, which is bad for you at the beginning, but also like mixing up things, putting chili in it, putting different flavors, especially in the chicken, making the chicken have different flavors. That's kind of
Right.
the key. What I do bad at is prepping for supper. I am
Right.
terrible at prepping for supper. Um, and I'm terrible at not figuring out what I'm going to have for supper. Like we, me and Andrea joke that we play supper chicken, which is who's going to say they're hungry first, and whoever says they're hungry first is the one that's cooking. um, because it's hard to decide what you're going to have, and I think prepping would be better and probably help with that because a lot of times we end up having supper like 9 o'clock at night, which is also not great for you.
Right.
So, but as far as working from home, it's nice and simple for lunches for the most part. Now, if I run out of chicken or rice, then I'm in a scramble to figure out what I'm doing, and that happens sometimes when I'm not paying attention to the supply.
Right.
um, but for the most part, like you said, we're working from home. It's you kind of go to your kitchen and you see what you have, and so it does work out a little bit better. But the problem being again is when you get skip and all that stuff, it
Oh, yeah.
becomes
It's so expensive too. I had to
it's
delete
so
Skip and
easy.
DoorDash off my phone about a year ago because I was like, I'm going broke.
Yeah,
Like, this is not good.
yeah. I find that they're super easy, super quick and whatnot. But yeah, you can quickly spend over $100 in the span of
Oh,
like
yeah.
a meal, and it's like, oh shoot.
Oh, yeah. It's wild. So, my other question for you is like, do you like, and I really wanted, and I want to kind of ask this, and I know you kind of answered with different flavors, but if I eat chicken and rice every day for lunch, but like, do you eat other things? Do you eat snacks? I have this fear of being hungry at work.
Um, no, My problem is snacking again is supper time. It's snack through the day, not bad. Chicken and rice typically. I'll do um toast and eggs for breakfast, and that's typically around like 9, 10 o'clock. Because I work from home, so I can log
Right.
in and turn on my computer and work, and then I can go out and just throw on some eggs and good to go while I'm working. I think the biggest problem for me is if I don't pre-make that chicken, I have found that times I just won't eat
Yeah.
because I haven't made the chicken, and there's a lot of more work involved in making that chicken, and turning on the turning off the work is always a pain when you're working from home. That's kind of a work
Yeah.
life balance problem too.
No, it totally is. I remember when I first started working from home at all the very beginning of the pandemic, I used to worry so much that somebody would think I wasn't working, that I wouldn't take any breaks for anything. Like, I'd be hard pressed to get up to use the washroom because I would worry that somebody would think I wasn't working, which is so silly. Because it's like I took breaks when I was in the office all the time.
Right.
Like, I had no problem walking around and chatting with people, and, like, if I missed a ping from somebody, it was not a big deal, but when I was working from home, the fear of somebody thinking I wasn't working, oh my goodness, it was so strong.
Yeah, I mean, I find working from home, time gets by, right? And um, I'll be in the middle of doing something, and next thing I know, it's like 4 hours later.
Yeah. No, I get
uh,
that.
so yeah, that's definitely a problem for me. And so when I'm prepping, uh, it's definitely more about making the chicken and stuff like that. Um, do you have any plans like what when you do try and prep, or when you're looking at prepping, are you planning to like go with certain meals each day, or what's your thoughts on that?
Honestly, Isaiah, I am so lost that my reasons for wanting to get better at this are twofold. One, uh, health and weight loss and, those kinds of plans. So, that, I'm not eating trash. But two is also cost.
Yeah.
Because often what happens with me, because I don't regularly have a good stock of groceries in my house, I'm like, "Oh, I'm getting groceries and I'm going to make these meals that I've looked up on the internet, and it's going to take me all day Sunday to make all this stuff." And I've also spent $1,000
Yeah.
and for, 5 days of meals, and it's like, that's not working either. And, I just need to get better at, like, understanding what a quick easy solution to this is, and my sister's really great at it, my mom's really great at it. They're both like, "Oh, I got this at Costco, and there are these breakfast wraps or whatever, and you just pop them in the microwave." I'm like, "Well, that's a good idea. Why don't I get that?" And then I'm like, "I have to go to Costco?"
Oh. Yeah.
Which is a thing that I'll have to do soon, but I don't know. It's something that I really gap on, and I think it's when you're a single person, when you start to weigh out the cost in time and money of, like, actually going to the grocery store and making things, and then versus eating out in some ways, sometimes the difference is not that much
Yeah, I get where
financially.
financially I get where you're coming from that. Yeah, but it can
It can be.
be. Yeah, it depends on what you're doing.
And
I think inevitably though, it's a matter of, you like when you're at work, you have a certain amount of time, and you have a certain amount of things in the area that you typically go to, and that
yeah.
changing that up might be a little bit better than and save you money too, right?
Right. Well, in the last episode, I talked about how I am going to start going to the gym at lunch hour a couple times a week. There's no way I'm going to be able to do that if I'm not food prepped and have a
Right.
lunch with me. Because I'm
Yeah.
not like that's just a thing that's going to have to happen in tandem.
Yeah, no, 100%. And so I know when I was going into office, I was doing a lot of pastas, a lot of like noodle stuff because it's easy to just throw in the oven, in the
Right.
microwave. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
oh, right.
That's a good point. No, that's a really good one. And I guess anybody out who's listening to this thinking, "Oh my god, it's so easy. I've got this great plan and here's my bento box solution." Um, comment below,
Yes.
and like if you happen to be a person who's an expert in food prep, we'd love to have you on to talk about it.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
somebody who can plan my life for me, that would be
uh,
terrific.
yeah, I mean, I don't know if I've seen online those like people that you pay to make your meal preps, which is an interesting concept as well. I think that kind of defeats the purpose of trying to save money on the other side. But
Right.
it's an interesting concept of having of someone being paid to prep meals for people.
Right.
I think that's a kind of a cool kind of thing for, especially for someone who just it's hard to prep your meal, right?
Have you tried any of those like food box delivery systems like HelloFresh or any of those?
I have not. I know people that have, and that's also an interesting concept. I don't know. Have you tried any of those?
I have. For me, this is gonna sound so silly. It's great that the box of stuff that you need for this meal shows up, but you still have to chop the vegetables. It's still work. It's like I could have gone to the grocery store and gotten this, and I wouldn't have had this weird flavored thing.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the interesting part of that side too, right? Because you still have to get your protein at the grocery store, right?
No, it usually comes with it.
Oh, does it? Okay, I wasn't. I'm not
I think so. Yeah.
super familiar if
Mine did.
everything
I've
comes.
only ordered a couple of them,
Okay,
and, like and they're expensive enough, but, like, you try the deals and it works out, and, I think it's worth trying when you especially when you get those free trial
your trial
offers.
ops, yeah.
But I also think it's better for somebody like you where you do have 2 people in your household.
Yeah, I mean it's a I've seen those. They're interesting as well, like the meal to your door things. Um I think that's a cool interesting concept when especially for people that don't necessarily cook all the time, which is definitely a thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a meal prep in a box.
Yeah, except it's not prepped. You
This is
still
not
have
prep.
to do it.
Well, I mean, it's a meal plan in a box. Then is that's the
Yeah,
way
and
about it?
it's the groceries, so it's everything you need for the thing,
Yeah.
but, like, well, I was so annoyed when I had to chop that red pepper, I was like, "Why did I order you? I coulda gone to the grocery store."
Yeah, I think that's kind of one of the bigger things is that you don't necessarily have to if you could figure out the ingredients that are coming in the box, you could go to the grocery store and do it.
Well, that's
And,
just it, especially with, like, online ordering and pickup and all this stuff.
I'm wondering if the cost I'm wondering what the cost benefit is, if there is a cost benefit to it. Uh outside of maybe just you're trying something you don't know. You don't have to do the research, I guess. That's kind of the key.
Yeah, that's true, and you don't have to pick a recipe, it just shows up. Um, the thing that I hate about them is that they're impossible to quit. It's like
Oh,
when
are
you
they?
had to try to quit Columbia House or
Oh
something in
my
the
goodness.
'90s, or, they just once they it is I was hard pressed to find out how to make the boxes stop coming.
Oh, really? Oh, that's rough.
Yeah.
Oh, always rough. Um, I think at the end of the day, I think prepping is definitely a thing that helps a lot, especially when you're going into work, right? Um,
Yeah.
from home, you got a little bit of here and there. It's all dependent. It's a lot easier to not have to prep when you're at home, but
Right.
for me, at least, if I don't prep, uh, I do get really bad eating habits if I don't like prep.
Oh, yeah, me too. Like I just I this it's I this weird fear of being hungry, and I've never been hungry in my life. Look at me. Um, I like, but I get so scared of not being able to function because I'm too hungry that end up buying too much or bringing too much, and
Yeah,
or whereas if I just go out to a meal, that's the meal, and then I'm done.
yeah. I always have a fear of being hangry.
Yeah.
And then I snap at people and things that aren't as great.
Do you get hangry like that? Do you
I,
get snappy?
I can if
Oh,
I'm hungry.
I've never seen you like that.
Well, that's because I eat too much. But I think, yeah, I think that's the episode. I think we're
That's
good.
a that's a great
Uh,
episode.
I think if anyone does do meal prep, and has like tips or tricks, I'd love to see them in the comments. And then, like Caitlin said, if you are a person that does meal prep for other people, and you want to come on and talk about your experiences doing meal prep for people, or if you want to come on and just talk about meal prepping in general, we would love to have people on.
Or you want to meal prep for me,
Or if you want to meal prep
and
for us,
instead of payment, we have you on the podcast.
I mean,
Cool.
I think we've talked about this before. I think a cooking episode would be kind of cool. If
That
we
would
could
be
find
cool.
someone to teach us how to meal prep. That would be cool too.
That would be really awesome to set us up in a kitchen.
Yeah,
I mean, we've technologically figured out how to do this
we can virtually
episode
now.
today.
We're the sky is the limit now.
Sky's the limit now.
But
by the end of it, we'll have a camera crew.
oh my goodness, I would love to have a camera crew and pay someone to do all the editing.
I bet you would.
We're gonna be rich someday. No,
I do have that. It's cut. His name is Isaiah.
But until next week, where can people find you on the internet?
People can find us at Kate and Isaiah Living Large on Facebook, the Caitlin Dean on X, at Fat Caitlin on TikTok, and Kated or Kate D on Instagram. I'm Caitlin Dean on also the Facebook. How about you, Isaiah?
I am at Maritime Brews on all of the social medias. And then, of course, if you are listening on your podcast spots, Spotify, Apple Music, wherever else you can listen to, if you want to come and watch the video portion, we are also on YouTube. And if you're on YouTube, if you can like, share, subscribe, comment, all that stuff goes a long way to helping us out. But until next week, thank you all for listening. Bye.
Bye.